Thank you so much. It's good to talk to you, John.
And I was watching one of the Celtic Women programs on public television recently, and the announcer said that they have been supporting and being a part of Celtic Women for 10 years. Has it really been 10 years since the advent of Celtic Women?
It actually has. To be technically correct, it's 11 years. It was 2004, September 2004, when we filmed the first special for PBS. And to be honest, none of us really knew what it was about, where it was going to go. It was very much, even though it was like an extremely high-end, polished production, it was thrown together basically. The five of us girls had never met each other. The only person I knew from the group at the time was Chloe, and that's because really we lived in the same area, but her mom was a superstar, and I knew Chloe as a child. So it was September 2004. We went to the Helix. We recorded what was called Celtic Woman for PBS, and I was familiar with PBS having been in Riverdance prior to that, so I knew who PBS were, and I spent a bit of time in the States. And honestly, we forgot about it after September, and we were asked to go over and promote it in 2005 for Patrick's Day in New York. And it just, as soon as we appeared on the Today Show, it went straight to #1, and it just stayed there for weeks and weeks and weeks, which culminated in a small summer tour, which went to a big fall tour, and then for the whole of 2006 was like completely touring, and then we did Slane that year too. So it was just, it really was like an explosion. It just went so far, so quickly, and it stayed at that pace.
And how long were you involved with Celtic Women total? When did you?
I was 7 years. I started in 2004 and I left in 2011. Actually, it was January 1st, 2012. So that was when I finished.
Okay. And then you've ended up in Peachtree City. How does someone get from Dublin to Peachtree City?
Well, it was actually, people laugh when I tell them, but we were actually living in New York at the time because my husband was based in the New York office there. So we were based in New York for maybe 6 months, and I had 3 children at the time, and I just couldn't do New York at all. I found it really difficult. And, you know, anyone who's been to Ireland and knows the kind of lifestyle in Ireland, especially when you have kids, it's very free, and you let your kids out and play, and they go do this, that, and the other. It's a very kind of relaxed environment for kids. So when we moved to New York, I was like, I have to go to the park, and if I want to go out and they want to get fresh air, and I can't let them go to the shops, and I can't do this. So I sat down one evening in New York and I Googled the best places to live in America, and Peachtree City kept coming up on the list, as well as like some other wonderful places. There was beautiful places in Boston and gorgeous. We had looked to move to Connecticut at the time as well. And I went back on tour, and I sent Scott down to Peachtree City to have a look around. And we'd always loved Atlanta on our tours. It had always been a really nice stop for us, a very kind of welcoming environment. So Scott came down here, and I'd say he was about 2 hours here, and he rang me on tour, and he was like, yeah, you're just going to love it here. So we moved here in 2011, totally off the cuff, didn't really know much about it. And it was just the best thing for our family. It's been a wonderful, wonderful place to live and to raise our kids. And then obviously to open a business here has been phenomenal.
Great. And so tell us just a little bit about the Lisa Kelly Voice Academy. When did you establish it? What are your goals? What sort of people come through there?
Well, as I said, I left Celtic Women in 2012, and Scott, my husband, was also working in Celtic Women at the time, and about 6 months into me having left, he decided it was time for him to go too. So he was actually offered a job back up north in the September, or no, actually it was the December of 2012, and the two of us just sat there going, we just can't move back up north, it's too cold, we don't want to go back to that lifestyle. And I had always wanted to open like a performing arts school, and we sat down and we kind of looked around and we found a space, and I said, look, let's just open a performing arts school. And it was, in fairness, it was Scott who turned around and said, yeah, but you're known for singing, why don't you just open a voice academy instead of going down the drama and dance route? So we opened the Voice Academy in February 2013, and I think our aim at the time, for me, I found it very hard to find what I wanted my kids to do. Obviously, both myself and Scott come from a very different theatre background, having been brought up in Ireland and Australia. So I really wanted something that would instill discipline in kids, and for kids to understand that it's not always the best singer who gets the role in things, and for them to understand why that is and how much performance plays in your vocal ability. So we opened in 2013, and I thought I would have an influx of like 5 and 6 year olds, and I didn't. I had like an influx of teenagers and people over the age of 30 and 40, and the academy has grown to, we have 150 students this semester, and it just keeps growing. It keeps getting bigger and bigger, and our aim was to change the thinking for people as well. I know people are very used to one-on-one lessons, and I don't like to do lessons that way, because people will be great one-on-one, but then they'll get nervous in front of other people. So our classes are structured in very small groups and then one larger group, and people have to sing in front of each other. We do, every 3 weeks we get up on the stage. We have built out the back, and they get a bit of stage performance in there as well. So it's just been something very different and has appealed hugely to this community, which has been incredible.
Now, do students come from beyond the immediate Peachtree
They
City
do.
area?
I think that was the biggest thing for us was, we realized that we had people traveling from Jacksonville every week. I had a girl from Savannah come every week for 3 years. It exploded. And then we did master classes and summer camps during the summer. So that kind of helped people who weren't in the state to come in. But Peachtree City Tourism Board love me for the people that I bring in between the concerts and between master classes. I'm very popular with them. We've had students from Japan come over. I've had students from the Netherlands come over. It's just been an incredible experience.
And speaking of performances, you have a Christmas show coming up next weekend. Tell us a little bit about the lineup for your Christmas show.
I do. I'm really excited. When we opened the Voice Academy first, the Fred, which is our local amphitheatre here in Peachtree City, asked me would I be interested in putting on a concert there in May. So we did the concert in May, and it was such a success. We asked them would they be interested in maybe looking at one for December last year. And they kind of looked at us going, December, outdoors, really? You think people are going to come to a show in December in Georgia, outdoors? I was like, yeah, but we can make it nice and Christmassy, and there can be hot chocolate and stuff like that. So as it turned out, the day last year, we had a full house, which was incredible for December. And it was a beautiful day. So when it came to this year, they were all excited about doing it again, and myself and Scott were really worried about the weather going, we can't be lucky 2 years in a row. What are we going to do? So anyway, we agreed to do it. So we have the concert on Sunday, December the 13th in Peachtree City. Doors open at 3 o'clock. It's early in the afternoon. And we have the wonderful Chloe Agnew from Celtic Women joining me, and Paul Byram from Celtic Thunder. Both of them did our concert last year, so I'm very excited. It's going to be a wonderful day.
And will you be able to work in some of the local performers that you've either come in contact
with?
We
do. Yes, we do. I have one of my students, actually, Caitlin Cleary, who I think has done a bit on your show before. She's going to play some fiddle there. And I always use the Academy. They always feature as guests in there too. And my musical director is a woman called Cheryl Rogers, who's from Roswell area. She's a Grammy award-winning producer. So she's been on my side since the day I moved here, which has been wonderful for me. So she does all the music for it and all the arranging. And we have, I have a wonderful guy playing the box accordion, and I'm really excited about it. It's a lovely time of year, and Christmas, it's always nice to do a Christmas concert. So any performer will tell you this. There's a huge sense of ease about a Christmas concert. You're never taking yourself too seriously, and it's really, really for your audience. While every show you do is for your audience, I always feel Christmas is just that little bit easier to do. Everybody's in a very jolly mood, so we're really looking forward to it.
Great. Well, we will post the information on tickets and all the details on the Celtic Show Facebook page so that our listeners can access that and hopefully join you next weekend for the Christmas show in Peachtree City. Lisa, before we send off, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I'd just like to tell everyone to come along and have some fun. It's a sing-along. It's so much fun. Hopefully the weather will hold up. It's supposed to be a nice day. There's not supposed to be any rain. It's supposed to be warm. So come visit Peachtree City.